Shalom and welcome to Challenging Torah, a challenging Torah in challenging times, a project of the Malibu Jewish Center and Synagogue. Well, we've been worried about Russian intervention. Did the Russians intervene in our election? Russian intervention? I think it's time, as we look at the hurricanes and earthquakes and fires, that we worry not about Russian intervention, that we worry about divine intervention. And the beauty of Torah is that it is a 3,000-year-old document that tells us we've been here before. And not only that, Moses' last sermon to those gathered around him at the end of Deuteronomy, right before they enter the Promised Land, what he is going to share with them is what we need to hear today. You are responsible for your choices. Your actions have consequences. And it's up to you how you choose to shape your planet and live on your planet. Yes, quote, Mother Nature or Father Divine, or however you want to say it, certainly will have its own will, its own cycle in its own way. But you, as a human being, will make choices, and those choices will affect everything as far as how you are to live and thrive on the land that at this point in the Torah portion you are about to enter and inherit. So it begins by Moses standing there and saying, when we enter the land, you are to take 2 large stones, coat them with plaster. It's a visual at the entrance to your cities, and put all these laws that I've just told you right there in front of you. Oh, I'm supposed to tithe? There it is, section 48. Oh, I'm supposed to take care of the widow, the orphan, and the stranger? Over here, section 82. And you are to put them right in front of your eyes. That's the instruction. And then Moses says, just to make it even better, we're doing a visual here, all of you who want to be on the blessing of the mountain of blessing, Mount Ebal, stand over here. Over here we have the Mount of Curse. Mount Gerizim is the Mount of blessing, and Mount Ebal is the Mount of Curse. It's up to you to where you stand. First, Moses gives you a warm-up and says, if you follow my commandments, God says, blessed will you be in the city, and blessed will you be in the field. Blessed will be the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, the fruit of your cattle, the fruit of your ox, the fruit of your flocks and of your sheep. Blessed you will be. Blessed you will be when you come in and when you go out. And then there's a little warm-up that says, cursed be those who do not follow the directions on, we gave you the directions right on the stones. Cursed be those, for instance, who dishonors his father and mother. Cursed be those who make the blind to wander about out of the way. Cursed be those, and it'll follow out some of these rules, and people all sort of nod their heads. This could have consequences. But God continues via Moses, but it shall come to pass. The cursed you shall be in the city, and cursed you shall be in the field, and cursed you shall be, you get the rest of it. Because the Lord your God will strike you with a consumption and a fever and an inflammation. We're getting imaginative here. Extreme burning with blasting. I'm not quite sure what blasting is, but it certainly sounds like a nuclear explosion to me. With mildew. Anybody want to watch to see what happens after Hurricane Harvey and Irma strike a warm city? And you shall grope at noon as the blind person gropes in the darkness. And you shall not prosper in your ways. And you shall be constantly oppressed and robbed. And no man shall save you. Your sons and your daughters, now we're getting very imaginative, will be given to another people. And your eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long, and there will be no might in your hand And I think of the DACA kids who could be taken away, sent away from their parents. How would it feel to have your child sent back to an El Salvador? Why, Moses continues? Because you did not serve the Lord your God with joyfulness, gladness of the heart, for the abundance of all you have been given. If you are not grateful, if you do not pay attention to all you have been given and are a steward of this land, those commandments on those 2 posts tell you things like, every 7 years the land gets a rest. Now, where science and religion come together are all very clear. Yes, there is global warming, and yes, there are cycles, and yes, your stewardship of the land and how you put chemicals and how you've released carbon dioxide, and whether the petroleum companies want to reassure you that you cannot prove that these hurricanes, honestly, are caused by human beings. What part of read the label carefully didn't you get? It's like cigarette companies saying, well, that woman may not have died of cancer caused by smoking just because she has bad lungs. It isn't about science, it isn't about religion. It's about paying attention. Unfortunately, the curses go on, and in normal years, I don't even read them in a Torah class. We kind of mumble them. You're supposed to say them very quietly. This is the year the curses need to be said in a foghorn voice. And your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you shall fear day and night, and you shall have no assurance of your life. We just saw that on national TV. We're watching it this weekend. We all have relatives and friends who live in the Florida and Miami area. Their lives are in danger. People are swept away. We're seeing it very up close and personal for the first time. In the morning you should say, would it be evening? And in the evening you shall say, would that it were morning. For the fear of your heart which you shall fear, and the sight of your eyes which you shall see. We will see bodies floating down streets. That is the curses come true. And it isn't that it's an angry God who got pissed because you didn't, whatever. This is a result of human beings not choosing the right mountain. And then it ends with the most beautiful statement. Once you have seen, the Lord will circumcise your heart and the heart of your seed. The Lord your God will teach you to love the Lord your God and your fellow human beings with all your heart, all your soul, and all your might. We just saw this after Hurricane Harvey. People circumcised their heart. We were worried a week before about, well, I don't know if illegals should be able to, the border wall. People were floating by. People came from all over to rescue them with boats, went back into buildings, did amazing acts of heroism. Today, and I know it dates the straw portion, but the curses are forever. An earthquake has taken untold lives in Mexico. A hurricane is about to strike the coast of Florida. And we haven't even begun to see the cleanup from Harvey, and we're not done yet. Circumcise the foreskin of your heart, God says. What does it take for you to open your heart to the widow, the orphan, the stranger, those in need? When does it come to the place where selfishness and greed give way to gratefulness, sharing, and an open heart for all humanity? We've learned this lesson before. Yes, nature cycles, and we cycle. The choice is ours. See, God says, I have set before you this day good and evil, life and good, death and evil. I call heaven and earth, Moses says, to record this day that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life, that you and your seed may live. It is time for us to open our eyes, make the right choices, so that our seed and the seed after us will continue to inhabit this planet in safety, abundance, and blessing. Shabbat Shalom.